This is your weekly horoscope for March 30th through April 5th, 2025. Sunday, March 30th brings a major shift. Neptune is moving into the sign of Aries for the first time since 1861. The last time we had Neptune in Aries, we also had the start of the Civil War. So, this is a huge collective shift in transit that is going to bring massive changes to your personal life, but also to the collective as a whole. We have not experienced Neptune in the sign of Aries for quite some time, and Neptune transits last a long time. So, Neptune is actually going to move through the sign of Aries until 2039. So even though Neptune has ingressed and entered the sign of Aries, it's not like, boom, you fully understand what this transit is about for you. It is going to take time to really unfold and understand and grasp the meaning of this transit. So, Neptune is a planet of fog and illusion and creativity. And Aries is the warrior archetype. It is fire energy. It is cardinal energy. It is the leader. It is all about anger, action, motivation. And that's because it is ruled by the planet of Mars. So when we have this archetypal combination of energy of our illusions or even our ideals meeting with the warrior, this can mark a period of time that does increase more wartime activity or people who are fighting courageously, confidently, and endlessly for their ideals, especially based on their spirituality or faith, because we have that wrapped in the energy of Neptune itself. It is always so important to remember that history doesn't exactly repeat itself, but it does rhyme. And so, even though we are seeing these energies reemerge, we have the opportunity to choose and to act differently. Right now, Neptune in Aries is hanging out at 0 degrees. And in astrology, 0 degrees is a world point, which oftentimes activates major collective themes throughout the world. So, this is going to be very noticeable. And personally, in your birth chart, if you have any placements around 0 or 1 degrees of the cardinal signs, that is Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you're going to feel the effects of Neptune's ingress into Aries the most intensely. When Neptune changes signs, this is often a big shift in our lives where we are faced with breaking down illusions and dealing with a longer reality check. So you're going to want to pay attention to where is Aries in your birth chart because there is a lot of energy and activity unfolding in that specific area of your chart and the themes related with that chart. So locate your rising sign and then find the house that Aries is in, and you'll be able to kind of unpack what illusions and reality checks are you kind of confronting over the next decade or so. On Monday, March 31st, the moon is void. The moon is in Taurus, which is great. It helps us connect with our senses and encourages us to rest and indulge in pleasures and people who bring us joy. But because the moon is void, which just means it is traveling aimlessly throughout the sky, it is not making any important connections with other planets. This is going to be a really important time for you to slow down, focus on rest, and resist the urge to be productive. Your worth is not tied to your productivity, even though that is what white supremacy, capitalism would like for us to believe. So, if and when possible, drink extra water, take a cat nap. Pause, spend a couple extra minutes in your car before you walk in for your shift at work. Really listen to what your body is asking of you. Tuesday, April 1st starts off with a quick surprise when the moon in Taurus meets with Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is a planet of unexpected events and disruption and innovation. So when the moon, which represents our inner needs and desires, meets with Uranus, it can bring some sort of emotional breakthrough, but it could also bring some sort of surprise to your day. So maybe you wake up to an interesting email or an opportunity, or maybe you hear from someone out of the blue. It is very possible that you need to make different decisions and maybe plans shift in some way. The rest of the day, the moon is going to be in Taurus, making very supportive aspects. So if you do need to cross things off your to-do list, have important conversations that you want to go well, if you want to send an important email or reach out to someone or pitch an idea to someone, this would be a great time to do so. Around 1:30 p.m., the moon will enter Gemini, and we are going to have our first interaction with Neptune in Aries. So the moon in Gemini is going to form a sextile with Neptune in Aries, also around 1:30 p.m. And this is going to be an important moment to ping because you're starting to get clues into your personal Neptune and Aries story. Because the moon is the closest celestial body here on Earth, when it meets with other planets that are further away, like Neptune, it brings that energy down to us. So, really kind of pay attention. This is a gentle and a subtle aspect, but it definitely will offer clues into your personal story. This week, Wednesday, April 2nd, is one of my favorite days of the week, and that is because the moon in Gemini is going to form a sextile with the sun in Aries around 11 a.m., and then it's going to go on to form a conjunction with Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter is a planet of support and abundance and beliefs. This is a powerful day for standing up and sharing your ideas and your beliefs. If you want to bring attention to mutual aid, to some sort of important organization, cause, or news that deserves to be elevated, this is a great time window to take advantage of, especially between 11 and 4 p.m. That's when there's really going to be the most magic in the sky this week. And also, just things are going to feel like they are flowing. You're going smoothly. You're making progress. You're feeling seen and heard and appreciated. So, if there is something in your personal life that you're hoping that just goes well, this is the time to take action. On Thursday, April 3rd, the moon is going to enter Cancer and it's going to form a square with Neptune in Aries. So, this is also an important moment to ping. This is going to be taking place around 4 p.m. and it can bring up confusion, sensitivities, projection, uncertainty, but it is also highlighting some of your Neptune story. So, really take note and just be in the present moment. This is not the best time to assume someone else's intentions or really make important decisions, but you are gaining pieces of your Neptune and Aries story. So just be present and mindful of that. On the same day, Mercury retrograde in Pisces is going to form a conjunction with the North Node in Pisces. Mercury is a planet of communication and information, and Mercury is a planet of communication and information, and the North Node has to do with our fate and our destiny. So, when these 2 points in the sky come together, it can mark a conversation or an interaction or even signing a contract or receiving an opportunity that feels fated in some way. Because Mercury is retrograde, it is actually going to come back and meet with the North Node one more time, and it has already met with the North Node one time prior. So, this is like the second act in a three-part story. And because Mercury is retrograde, there is some element of returning to an old conversation, returning to an old idea, and really picking back up and reconsidering where you left off. I also really love the energy of Friday, April 4th, and that is because Saturn in Pisces forms a sextile with Uranus in Taurus. The last time Saturn and Uranus formed a sextile together was in 1997. So this energy is actually really supportive. Saturn is the planet of commitment, structure, responsibility, and hard work. Uranus is a planet of liberation, innovation, and taking risks. So when they come together, you can actually receive recognition or make progress on some sort of project that you've put a lot of work and thought into, especially when you took a risk or decided to innovate and try something new. On the same day, Mars in Cancer is going to be forming a sextile with Uranus in Taurus and a trine with Saturn in Pisces. And Mars is the energy of action. So it is giving you that courage, that confidence to really go after who and what you want, and that acknowledgement that, yes, it is time to take a risk. And still to come on the same day, we have the first quarter moon in Cancer. And the first quarter moon phase is all about initiating and taking action. It's going to bring you back to the new moon solar eclipse in Aries that took place on March 29th. So think about whatever was your focus or attention at that time. This is your time to put a plan into place and to really move forward and bring your vision to life, whether it is buying a website domain, whether it is shooting your first Instagram reel or TikTok video. You're taking some sort of aligned action towards your desire. Now, this first quarter moon is taking place at 15 degrees. So, if you have any planets or placements around 15 degrees of Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you're going to feel the effects of this the most intensely. And the other thing that is really important to note is that this marks the end of eclipse season. So, we are exiting the portal. You have made it through the other side. If you have felt like things have been chaotic, out of your control, fate and destiny has taken over and taken the wheel, you are finally going to be gaining a semblance of control. Well, control is kind of an illusion, it doesn't really exist, but you're going to be slowing down and things aren't going to be changing as rapidly as they have been. On Saturday, April 5th, the energy is varied. There are going to be a few sextiles and trines from the moon in Cancer to outer planets, which is really gentle, supportive, fun. But the moon in Cancer will form a conjunction with Mars in Cancer around 12:30 p.m. And even though Mars retrograde ended, you are still wrapping up the final pieces of your Mars retrograde journey. So this can highlight a moment of tension, frustration, feeling under pressure to make a decision or take action. However, it can also mark a moment where you're feeling energized. Maybe you're busy, or maybe you are feeling confident, especially if there has been something that you've been uncertain about during the retrograde. This could mark a moment where you're like, hey, I know exactly how I want to move forward. And a friendly reminder before we sign off, we are all interconnected as humans, and it is so important that you use your voice, your power, your privilege to stand up against fascist regimes. The Trump administration is literally kidnapping people off of the street for using their voice and for advocating against a genocide. If you're like, why are you talking about politics when this is supposed to be all about astrology? Let's talk about it. Astrology is great for self reflection and understanding the energies that are available to us. But we are humans that are living in a socio political environment that affects us all. So it really doesn't make sense to talk about the moon meeting with Jupiter and hey, it could be a lucky time without really also addressing issues that impact all of us as humans here on Earth. If you are feeling overwhelmed and distraught and unsure of how you can take action or make a difference, I would just like to encourage you to use your voice, to talk with people in your community, to share posts. Everyone who speaks up makes a difference. You can also download the 5 Calls app, which gives you scripts and automatically gives you the numbers of your representatives to contact. Every call does make a difference. As always, I hope this has offered some guidance and support into your week ahead. And please remember to lead with kindness, compassion. We are all human and we are all going through something. And before we go, let's get into this week's tarot poll. This week we have the Tower, the Page of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. The Tower represents the breakdown of a structure, of your comfort. And the next 2 cards are all about your thoughts, your words, your ideas, your beliefs. The Page of Sword is honing their skills. They haven't exactly figured out the perfect way to say what they want to say or the idea that is going to lead them to the success that they desire, but they are in the process of trying new things, of innovating, of taking risks, and putting their thoughts and ideas out there, whether or not they all land. To me, these cards are encouraging you to speak up, to speak out, and to disrupt the foundation that makes you feel safe. And yes, of course, first and foremost, I think a great way to use this energy is to benefit the collective, to speak out against the global atrocities and the rise of fascism that we are seeing around the world. However, in your life, there may be a conversation you need to have. There may be a boundary you need to set that is going to disrupt the comfort, the safety, your stability that you have known. Ultimately, speaking your truth is going to lead you to this Queen of Swords moment where you are feeling boundaried, you are feeling confident, and you are speaking with clarity. And ultimately choosing to use your voice and sharing your thoughts, your ideas, your feelings, your boundaries, your needs, and expectations with other people will bring not only a sense of relief, but also a sense of freedom and empowerment. As always, I hope this has offered some support and guidance throughout your day. And please remember, we are all humans out here on a spinning rock in the middle of space. So please lead with kindness. If you enjoyed learning about the astrology this week and want to know more about your personal daily horoscope, you can tune into my podcast, Daily Horoscope for Your Zodiac Sign with Stephanie Campos. Thanks so much and see you next week.